Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We're taking a look today at the New York Islanders as they have begun their preseason. After 2 games, the Islanders beat the New York Rangers, and last night they also, well, depending on when you're watching this video, the Islanders also beat the Philadelphia Flyers. So they beat their 2 rivals so far. Pretty good start for the Islanders. They're 2-0. Again, it is the preseason. But from what we've seen from some of the Islanders' younger players, maybe trying to, crack a spot on the roster, we're going to be looking at some of those guys and how they're doing so far this preseason. So the New York Islanders, the big one everybody's been talking about is Robin Sallow, the defenseman that really probably had a spot locked up on the roster, of course, until the Islanders brought in Erik Gustafsson and Big Z Zdeno Chara. So now that those two guys are in, it is making it much more difficult for Robin Sallow to get in the lineup. He may not even be the 7th man if they decide to keep Erik Gustafsson for the regular season roster. And Erik Gustafsson, the good thing about Gustafsson so far that I've liked is we haven't talked about him. And unless you talk about a defenseman, probably the better off they are. And I think that's the situation for Erik Gustafsson. He's going to limit his mistakes. He doesn't want to have any eyesores during the preseason, especially for Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz. And he's going to give himself a chance to make this roster. That's really what it comes down to for Gustafsson. But for Robin Sallow has done more than that. He has thrived as the Islanders defenseman. So this was Noah Dobson the other day, which we'll get into Dobson in a minute. Noah Dobson on Robin Sallow. In quotes from Noah Dobson, he's definitely impressive. He looks really calm with a lot of poise out there. You definitely see the skill set. He's got good vision and skates really well. He's really deceptive. He's played really well the last 2 games. That was Noah Dobson, who also in that most recent game against the Flyers put up a goal and 2 assists. So 3 points in a game for Dobson, who in his own right is fighting for minutes on that Islanders blue line. Now, we also heard some more stuff about Robin Sallow here from Barry Trotz. This was from Barry Trotz. I think Sallow was poised. That's the second time we've heard it. Guys talk about poise. He made some really good decisions. So this is some exciting stuff for Islanders fans. Robin Sallow, a guy that, has been overseas in Europe, not really talked too much about, but there is some hype being generated from Robin Sallow. Again, an Islanders draft pick. And this is a kid that could make the Islanders lineup. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, you look on that left side in particular where you thought he might get a spot. On that left side right now, there's Adam Pelech, Zdeno Chara, Erik Gustafsson, and Andy Green. All 4 of those guys fighting for a spot on that left side. I'm not even talking about the right side where you've got Dobson, Mayfield, Pulak. That's some stiff competition there. But Robin Sallow has played really well. I'm really excited to see what he does this year if he makes the roster. Because like I said, he could be the guy that beats out Gustafsson, kind of playing that Dobson role from a couple years back. When Dobson was in his rookie season, he came in 2 or 3 games the entire year. I hope that's not the situation for Robin Sallow, but I could see him as that seventh defenseman that gets in the roster and ends up playing. I think that could be a situation if he beats out Erik Gustafsson. So really excited from what I've seen so far from him, but we've also heard of another prospect here and a more recent draft pick than Robin Sallow, and it's actually a forward as well, just to add to it. So I made a video on this, and other people on YouTube have also made videos about this, about R2 Ratu. A guy that was supposed to be the first overall pick in the 2021 NHL draft as soon as the Jack Hughes draft was finished. Everybody was talking about this year's draft at that point, a year ago, not even, really 8 months later. And they were talking about this guy R2 Ratu from Finland playing in Karpat. Looks like he is going to be that next generational talent forward. And that didn't work out. He ended up falling all the way to the 2nd round of the NHL draft, but he ended up going first overall. Not in the way maybe people thought or Ratu thought, but he was the first pick of the New York Islanders. Again, remember, the Islanders did not have a first-round pick. So they took a little bit of a waiver on this kid, R2 Ratu. Again, there were some questions about his defensive game and maybe consistently playing like that superstar. He showed flashes of it, but was he able to do it consistently? That was the big question. And that's why Ratu fell in the draft. But even he, R2 Ratu, has looked good in his first 2 games with the New York Islanders. Barry Trotz said R2 Ratu, I've played him with the varsity guys right through training camp. He has no issue with that. This guy is just a good hockey player. Now, from what I hear from that, very good stuff from Barry Trotz. Because what he's saying when he says he's playing with the varsity guys, what does that mean? Well, basically what he's saying is he's kind of referencing the junior varsity and the varsity players, right? You got the guys that are going to play in the AHL as the JV guys, and you got the varsity guys, the guys that are, your leaders in the locker room. And he was playing in top 6 minutes for the Islanders. Now, who could have been playing in that spot? Simone Homstrom? Has R2 Ratu eclipsed Simone Homstrom already in the Islanders' development, in the eyes of the Islanders' management? That may be the case already. That Simone Homstrom pick, it looks worse and worse and worse by the day. And the good news is R2 Ratu could be able to take that spot. And I really like what Barry Trotz said on Ratu. Very exciting stuff. The Islanders want to see what this kid can do. I think Ratu has the potential to be a top 6 forward in the NHL, a scoring winger. As long as he can work on his defensive game, I think there's definitely some real potential and promise from this kid. And I think the Islanders are really expecting this guy to come into the NHL and potentially be a driving force for the offense. We talk about the Islanders needing this cornerstone franchise scoring player. Again, it's a bit of a long shot from a mid-second round pick, but could R2 Ratu potentially be that player? And a couple of other guys that I want to talk about. Ken Appleby has looked all right for the Islanders. In between the pipes, he's looked all right. And Jakob Skerrick, I think Skerrick has done well. Again, what we saw from Appleby, only 15 shots in the second half of that game against the Flyers. But Jakob Skerrick also played well, which I think bodes well for the Islanders. He's likely going to be the 3rd goalie for the Islanders, depending on the situation with Corey Schneider. Does he eclipse Corey Schneider as the 3rd goalie? Maybe. Again, I think there's some deception there. I think Corey Schneider will likely be the backup in the AHL, and we're also going to see Ken Appleby back in Worcester or Worcester, whatever you want to call it, Worcester, if you're from that area, with the Railers in the ECHL. That's probably where Appleby will be once again. Appleby, I know he has a great name, but more than likely he'll be an AHL goalie call-up, 3rd string for the AHL, and probably 5th, 6th string for the Islanders. But still, some good goalie depth for the Islanders. You always need goalies, right? That's just kind of how that works. And who knows, during the regular season, maybe Ken Appleby gets a shot with the Islanders. Again, I mean, that's a very long shot. Hopefully the Islanders don't go down that many goalies, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, the Islanders have looked pretty good so far through 2 games. Like I said, they played the very Islander game against the Rangers, which they've done. And Gerard Gallant didn't really have an answer in his first game with the Rangers. The Islanders did well. Again, in an environment where the Rangers fans were there. Again, not full capacity, obviously. It was a preseason game. But the Rangers had a lot of their starters there. They had guys like Mika Zibanejad, Kravtsov, Adam Fox. They had some guys there, Georgiev. And the Islanders were still able to beat them despite that. So, again, the Islanders had more of their bottom 6 guys in there. They did have Brock Nelson, but a good game there. I didn't get to watch the Flyers game, which I'm disappointed. I didn't get to see that one. But the Islanders play New Jersey on Saturday at 2 o'clock, which is probably by the time this video comes out, probably very close to that time. And we'll see what happens. I think the Islanders, it's been good so far. Nothing really to complain about. We'll see what happens. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, make sure to check out our Streamlabs shop in the description down below if you want to support the channel, maybe pick up some Goal Line Hockey swag and some merchandise, cups, mugs, backpacks, long sleeve t-shirts, regular t-shirts. We've got all of it in there. Make sure to check that out. If you just want to support the channel without the merch, which I guess if you want to do that just to help us out, we also have a Patreon. Again, links to all of that in the description down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time. Go Islanders.